Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's second video. Going to have a look at weather the next 10 to 14 days. But today's second video, day 10, will take us to the 13th of July. And we'll be able to extend out beyond that. We get GFS and ECM ensembles later on trying a couple of weeks. Have a look at CFS V2 at the end of the next 4 weeks. We'll look at as well into towards the final stages of the month. Just about a month, saying really. I'll get on that for you in a moment. Just say the first video saying was our 6 AM upload. And big premiere coming up for you tonight at 8 PM. We're going to be premiering the Winter 2022-2023 NAO North Atlantic Oscillation Forecast based on May sea surface temperature anomalies. It's like the first step on the journey to the winter updates, and they're beginning in September. But we're going to do the NAO forecast first in the summer, and we're going to have a premiere of that tonight at 8 PM on the channel. So I shall see you on the red carpet. I'll be in the live chat with you, and it's going to be great. It's going to be very entertaining, I hope. So I'll see you then. But we've got this video to do first, so let's get on with that, shall we? I hope you're having a lovely Sunday as well. Right, let's have a look then. So these are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. We're at London today, so red line is a 30-year upper air temperature average for London. We're starting off below average at the moment, a little bit on the cool side next couple of days, but temperatures will be warming up, both upper and surface temperatures lifting up later on in the week, becoming warmer as we go through the second week of July and into the middle part of the month. And potentially becoming hot, but how hot will it get remains to be seen. But look at the green line, which is the GFS midnight excuse me, operational run. That absolutely takes off, and actually, right at the very end, it goes off the scale. Goes to 25 degrees, or probably over 25 degrees, given that is off the scale. Goes over 25 degrees at 850 HPA. That would be an absolutely extraordinary heat wave if it came off. And would lift the temperature above 40 degrees Celsius. You know, so temperature will go above 40 degrees about definitely. The question is, will that happen? I mean, it's very unlikely to verify. It's not without support. There are other GFS ensemble members that are becoming hot. You know, heat spike ensemble members that are appearing there around the middle part of July. We've had it for a few days, but that is the most extreme, you know, GFS run that I've seen for a very long time, possibly most extreme GFS run I've seen ever. The 18th ever, last night's pub run, also did something similar. I can show you that. So again, didn't quite go off the scale like Midnight Run did, but nevertheless, it went very close, 25 degrees at 850 HPA. The temperature forecasts with that were absolutely extraordinary as well. I will show you those temperature projections in a moment. Bear in mind, this is all very unlikely to verify, but I think last night's 18Z ensembles did have a few more heat spike ensemble members, though, probably than the Midnight Run. The 6Z ensemble, which is the very latest, of course, tone things down a little bit. The green line doesn't take off and go into insane sort of hot territory this time. Yeah, we'll have a look at that in a moment. There are still some heat spike members, though, within the 6Z ensemble suite as well. So it's going to get warmer through the next week to 10 days. How warm it's going to get, how hot is it going to get, remains to be seen. Potentially it could get very hot, but that, you know, is uncertain at the moment, very uncertain. And, you know, 40 degrees, like, it might happen, but it looks highly unlikely at this stage that it will happen. But we do need to keep a close eye on it, because there is going to be hot air, but we'll be trying to surge northwards, I think, around middle of July. It's just a question of how far north it's going to get across the western side of Europe. Precipitation-wise, it looks very dry on this ensemble graph, doesn't it? So barely any measurable precipitation for London, really, in the next couple of weeks. Temperature anomalies from the 3rd to the 11th of July going to be a little bit warmer than average, so the warm-up is already beginning to show its hand. Precipitation anomaly is very dry from the 3rd to the 11th of July. It looks like we're going to have a very warm and dry first half to July anyway. Latest wind flow map from earthnorthschool.net shows we're bringing the wind from off the Atlantic today. Having said that, so it is still showery today, but the trend after today is towards drier weather and high pressure ridging in from off the Atlantic Ocean. Right, so let's go through the all-important chart data, mate. So you can bet your run is looking for midnight on Wednesday. High pressure ridging in from off the Atlantic, bringing lots of dry, fine and warm weather through the middle and second half of the week. Up to this time next week, this is midnight Sunday, still under the influence of that ridge of high pressure, dry, warm, potentially locally quite hot down the south by this point, would have thought, but nothing extreme at that stage. This is how Icon is looking. Again, high pressure is dominating the weather through middle part of the week and into the end of the week as well. Originating from off the Atlantic, bringing lots of dry, fine, warm or very warm conditions with this area of high pressure. And again, that will get temperatures at least into the mid to upper 20 Celsius down in the south, I would have thought. Right, so you have a look at that pub run then. This is I don't normally show this in the videos. This is last night's GFS 18Z and it, aka pub run, and it really set the weather scene alight, literally. Look at this. So in comes the high pressure on Tuesday. Remember, this is from yesterday. In comes high pressure through next week, dominating weather, turning us mainly dry, fine, very warm, nothing extreme up to this point, but certainly very warm or locally hot. Temperatures probably into the low 30 Celsius. This is the 12th of July. Now, what happened is that the high pressure then sort of breaks, and some of the high pressure sits eastwards, and that starts to allow very, very hot air to surge northwards out of North Africa, ultimately down here, surge northwards at west side of Europe. So this is how the upper air temperature look at 6 a.m. on the GFS 18Z on Saturday 16th of July, plus 20 Celsius iceberg is across many parts of England and Wales. That is how the upper air temperatures look at 6 in the evening on a Saturday 16th of July, plus 25 Celsius iceberg is into the far southeastern corner. Extremely hot with that GFS 18Z. Eventually it finished up, starting to introduce something a little bit cooler from the north. But taking its time, look how hot it is. Absolutely extraordinary across most parts of Europe on that GFS run. Again, it was an extreme outlier, so it is unlikely that this will verify. This is how the temperature profile looked with that GFS 18Z. Pretty warm on Monday the 11th, nothing overly excessive. Just a little bit hotter on Tuesday the 12th. We're up to low 30 Celsius, 30, 31 degrees there. Hotter still on Wednesday the 13th of July. And hotter again on Thursday the 14th of July. By this point, we're sort of approaching mid 30 Celsius. In the south, we're up to around 33. It's pretty extreme by this point. By the time it's through the 15th of July, we've got 35 to 36, 37 there across parts of the southeast, approaching 100 Fahrenheit. If you think that's hot, just look at this though. Check this out. This is a Saturday 16th of July at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Temperature forecast based on that GFS 18Z run. And widespread 40, 41 degrees there across most parts of eastern, southern, southeastern England. And if you go down here, you can see that like Paris is up to 45 degrees. Just an absolutely unbelievable heat wave. And again, it's very, 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 very unlikely that this will verify. People will be worried about this. I understand, some people will be quite worried, about that. It is very unlikely to verify. But I can't remember seeing such an extreme GFS run as that in terms of the forecast temperatures. So I wanted to include it in the video, just for posterity, really, more than anything else. Right, this is how the midnight run is looking. So again, high pressure, midnight run, high pressure ridging in from off the Atlantic, bringing loads of dry weather with it throughout the next week, 10 days. We'll have lots of high pressure, will be warm or very warm. Eventually, we start seeing the heat building there by 16th of July across France again on this GFS run. And by the time we get through to the 19th of July, we are pulling up that heat again. So actually even hotter at the very end. This is as far as we get to with the GFS midnight run to 384 hours, which is midnight on Tuesday, 19th of July. And this is even hotter actually than the pub run was. With 25 Celsius iceberg is getting further into the country compared to like the 18th set, the pub run. quite what the temperature would be with that, we can't say, because that's as far as we get to. So the temperature profile sort of ends on this is 18th of July, 3 in the afternoon. So by then, we're around 37, 38 degrees, so we're about 100 Fahrenheit then already. But the next day would be hotter. As far as we get to with the temperature profile is to midnight on the 19th of July, where midnight was still around 30 degrees on the south coast. What the temperature would be, on the 19th of July, say around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, with that kind of heat, is hard. We can't say because we don't go that far with the temperature projection. But obviously, you would be over 40 degrees again, if we have the projection. If we would go a little bit further on, a few hours further on, but we cannot. Very, very extreme GFS runs being pumped out at the moment. This is the 6 Z though, which has toned things down a little bit, as we saw on the ensemble graph. So again, Wednesday, high pressure reaching in from off the Atlantic, bringing lots of dry weather with it. That high pressure stress carries on into next weekend and beyond, up to day 10, still under that large area of high pressure. Eventually, the high pressure begins to sort of pull away slightly to our northwest, which begins to have something a little bit cooler coming around the top of the high from the east. So not extreme with the heat on the 6Z, although France looking very, very hot, and as does much of North Africa and Mediterranean. So we're not far away from very extreme heat even with the 6Z, but just doesn't quite push up. This is how we end up. So still under high pressure regime from off the Atlantic. As long as this high pressure keeps ridging in, as long as this Azores high keeps sending in this ridge, it does look very, very ridgy for July, I have said. As long as that ridge keeps pulling in from the Azores high, I would expect to keep seeing, hot operational runs and whatnot from the GFS and maybe even other models, because the potential will always be there, but one of those ridges could break off to the east, and the heat is there to our south. If the ridge just break off, a piece of ridge breaks off to the east, but the heat is there, it is building very much to the south, so the potential is always going to be there to pull up some very, very hot air from the south. It just depends whether, all the pieces come together to pull that off or not. Alright, if you enjoyed the video, then please can you like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much, everybody, doing that. Don't forget, we're premiering the Winter 2022-2023 NAO forecast tonight at 8 PM. Wow, wow, wow. What an exciting day. Here we go then. GM, again, high pressure is dominating weather through much of the coming week. Will keep us mainly dry, fine, and warm, or even very warm, under this big ridge. Going to be sitting across the west of Europe. By day 10, just breaking that a little bit with some low pressure coming in from off the Atlantic, but basically for GM is high pressure all the way. And then the ECM also showing that big ridge of high pressure taking over during the next few days into the weekend. There'll be lots of dry weather under that area of high pressure. Not excessive with the upper air temperatures at day 10. And even France, not as hot as like on the GFS output, actually at day 10. The heat is down across Spain and Portugal, where you'd expect it to be, of course, at this time of the year. So ECM much more sensible and much, much better, I think, actually, not as worrying as like that GFS output. This is a precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from Meteo.com. Showering to start off with, but trend will be towards drier weather, particularly in the south. It takes a while to settle things down in the north, but even there, things will start to turn a bit dry by the time we get through day 10. Those places are looking dry. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensembles day 4, day 10 from the from ECMDF.int themselves, actually, not from the other, still not updating clusters there. This is for the 13th of July. So 28 members of the ECM ensembles high pressure right over top of the country, mainly dry, and you would have thought pretty warm with that. And then we've got 17 here, again with high pressure more or less over top of the country again. And then we've also got 6 just here again with high pressure dominating the weather. So all options are high and dry really in 10 days time. In 2 weeks time, which gets us to the 18th of July, around the time when the GFS is flirting with this very hot air, of course. We've got 16 members of the ECM ensembles high pressure right over top of the country. It's very dry and quite warm. We've got 15 breaking down the ridge and turning things a bit more unsettled with low pressure to the north and west. That will start to turn things a little bit more unsettled potentially. We've got 10 just here also sort of breaking the ridge down not really much low pressure, but certainly looks more of an Atlantic flow anyway. And then we've got 10 just here, which pull the high pressure just out to the west. Still more or less under high pressure, but reverting again from an Atlantic flow. So actually in 2 weeks' time, many of the ECM ensemble members want to revert back to what would be a cooler and pressure, and possibly slightly more showery, Atlantic type flow. So that remains to be seen, what happens there, of course. Finally, the CFS means a 500 millibar high times bring down to week periods. The first week period will take us from the 3rd to the 9th of July, and the coming week will be dominated by high pressure, of course, so increasingly dry and warm. Week 2 is going to be the 10th to the 16th of July again, with that big area of high pressure sitting right over top of the country. Week 3 is going to be the 17th to the 23rd of July. High pressure then slips just a little bit further east, and that would allow some potentially very hot air start moving north. So the CFS looks like wants to start turning things really hot just after mid-month, as that high pressure begins to break and slips a little bit towards the east. And then week 4 is going to be the 24th to the 30th of July. High pressure goes even further east. Again, that will pull up some very hot air from the south potentially, but low pressure out to the northwest may be just a hint of something a little bit more changeable, especially for the north and west, and probably a welcome relief at that. Right, what an interesting period we're in at the moment, and we're done. So, sorry, buddy. Sorry once again. Right, we're done. If you enjoyed the video, please do you like, subscribe. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Drop a comment and so it's all of our videos, and we're going to be back a little bit later on with our premiere, and that will be coming up at 8 PM tonight. We'll be premiering the Winter 2022-2023 NAO forecast. So I should see you on the red carpet. I'll be in the live chat. We'll watch it together, and it's going to be great. So I'll see you a little bit later on. But you enjoy the rest of your Sunday afternoon, though. And for this one, that's all for now. And thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.